All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Yeah.
Today, we are taking a look at something that's been making a lot of waves out there in the tech world,
Right.
and that is Google's new AI Gemini Pro.
Yeah, Gemini Pro, a lot of buzz around this one.
Oh, yeah, big time. I mean,
Yeah.
we actually found this YouTube video from West LA Computer Expert,
Oh, yeah, I saw that one too.
and the title is like, Google drops new key on AI industry.
Oh my goodness.
Gemini Pro rewrites the rules with like a bunch of exclamation points.
I mean, you can't help but click on that, can you?
I know, right? Clickbait title for sure.
Absolutely.
But, watching the video, it really seems like there might be something to that.
Yeah, there really is a lot to unpack here.
Oh, yeah. So we thought, let's take a deep dive into this
Yeah.
and really try to understand, like, what are the key things that people should know about Gemini Pro?
Right.
Because it is pretty complex.
Yeah. One of the things that really jumps out at me is the multimodal nature of this AI.
Multimodal, what does that even mean?
Well, it means that unlike a lot of AI out there that can only handle text,
Right.
this one can actually work with different types of information at the same time.
Oh, wow.
So text, images, even audio,
So it's not just like reading words on a page. It's
Yeah.
actually like interpreting images.
Exactly.
Like they gave this crazy example in the video. If you feed Gemini Pro a movie plot summary
Uh-huh.
and some stills, like, photographs from the movie,
Right.
it can actually generate a movie trailer.
Yeah, I can cut together, use those images, put them in the right sequence.
Wow.
And, it's not going to win any awards for best editing,
Right.
but it's pretty remarkable that it can do that at all.
Yeah. So like think about what that means for someone who works in marketing.
Oh my gosh.
Like you could give it a product description and some images and it could create like a whole targeted ad campaign.
Yeah, or you could use it, for educational purposes.
Right.
Create interactive textbooks or presentations.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really opens up a lot of creative possibilities.
Yeah. So that was one thing that really stood out to me from that video.
Yeah.
But the video also talks about how Gemini Pro is like this coding superpower.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really fascinating to me. Like, does that mean that it's going to replace programmers?
Well, I don't think it's quite that simple.
Okay.
It's not going to replace human creativity and problem-solving skills,
Right.
but it can certainly make coding much more accessible to people who don't have, years of experience.
Okay.
So imagine this. You're a small business owner.
Mhm.
You want to build a website, but you don't know how to code.
Yeah.
So instead of spending months learning a programming language,
Right.
you could just describe what you want to Gemini Pro.
Oh, wow.
I want a website with a homepage, about us page, a contact form.
Like you're talking to a web designer.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Gemini Pro can take those instructions, translate them into code, and build a basic prototype for you.
So it's kind of like having a super smart interpreter between you and the computer.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
It takes your, plain English instructions and converts them into the complex language that the computer understands.
That's pretty amazing.
And this could be really empowering, for people who aren't programmers but have great ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
Artists, entrepreneurs,
Yeah.
anyone who needs a website or an app but doesn't have the technical skills to build it from scratch.
Right.
They can just tell Gemini Pro what they want.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a really exciting aspect of this.
Yeah. And speaking of breaking down barriers,
Yes.
the video also talks about Gemini Pro's multilingual capabilities.
Oh, yeah.
And they say it can work with like 38 different languages,
That's right.
which is crazy. I mean, most AIs I've seen are pretty much limited to English.
Yeah.
But this one is claiming to be able to not just translate, but actually understand the nuances of each language.
Right. And that's a big difference,
Uh-huh.
because it's not just about word-for-word translation. It's about understanding idioms, slang, cultural references,
Right.
All the things that make human language so complex.
So you're saying it's not just like using Google Translate?
No, not at all. This is much more sophisticated.
Yeah. Okay.
So imagine you're a teacher
Uh-huh.
and you want to create educational materials for students from all over the world.
Right.
Instead of having to create separate versions for each language,
Right.
you could just use Gemini Pro to adapt your content.
Wow.
Make sure that it's culturally appropriate
Okay.
and that the meaning is conveyed accurately in each language.
So like it's taking into account all the cultural differences
Yeah.
and making sure that the message is still the same.
Precisely.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's really huge for education, for, customer service, international diplomacy.
Right.
The possibilities are endless.
And that's not all The video also mentions that Gemini Pro is like super developer friendly.
Oh, yeah, this is big.
Can you kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So Gemini Pro has an API,
Right.
which basically allows developers to easily integrate it into their own applications and systems.
Okay.
And it also works seamlessly with platforms like Google AI Studio and Vertex AI.
Right.
So this means that developers don't have to start from scratch. They can use these existing tools and resources to build on top of Gemini Pro's capabilities.
And that's important because it means that more people are going to be able to use it and create amazing things with it.
Exactly. The more accessible it is, the faster innovation will happen.
So to kind of like sum this all up,
Yeah.
we have this AI
Yeah.
that is a visual whiz,
Right.
a coding guru,
Yeah.
a master communicator,
Absolutely.
and it's easy for developers to work with.
Yep.
I mean, this is pretty impressive stuff.
It really is.
But the big question is, will it actually live up to all the hype?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right. I mean, video calls it this like AI revolution.
Right.
But, sometimes these things don't always pan out the way they're advertised.
Yeah. And there are definitely some potential challenges,
Okay.
ethical considerations, privacy concerns.
Right.
We have to make sure that this technology is used responsibly.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do think that Gemini Pro has the potential to be a game changer.
Okay.
It's a powerful tool, and it's going to be really interesting to see how it evolves.
Yeah, and how it's used in different industries.
Exactly.
I can imagine it having a huge impact on everything from healthcare to finance to entertainment.
Absolutely. And it's going to be fascinating to see how it shapes the future of work as well.
So do you think it really is going to rewrite the rules?
I think it has the potential to, but only time will tell.
Well, that's a great point. I mean, we're still in the early stages here,
Right.
but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely.
So listeners, if you're interested in AI
Yeah.
and the future of technology, highly recommend checking out that YouTube video from West LA computer expert.
Great channel.
Yeah. And, do some of your own research.
Right.
Because this is a topic that's going to be increasingly relevant in the years to come.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah. And we will catch you next time.
See you later.
Bye.